안녕하세요, 푸디인입니다. 오늘은 서울 송파구 롯데백화점 에비뉴엘에 있는 클럽 코라빈에 왔는데요. 코라빈의 와인 보관 시스템을 통해 고급 와인을 잔으로 즐길 수 있는 곳입니다. 이날은 코라빈의 설립자인 그레그 람브레트 대표가 직접 코라빈을 시연하고 설명하는 자리가 마련됐습니다. 인간에게 가장 강렬한 욕망을 꼽으라면 평생 젊음을 유지하고 싶은 마음이 있겠고요. 와인도 마찬가지입니다. 코르크를 따는 순간부터 공기와 만나는 와인은 그 가치를 잃어버리게 되죠. 와인의 잠자는 본질을 깨우기 위해 에어링을 하기도 하지만 와인에게 허락되는 건 고작 몇 시간일 뿐입니다. 그런데 코라빈을 사용하면 레드와인의 경우 3년 이상, 샴페인은 4주까지 보관이 된다고 하네요. 람브레트 대표는 재미난 실험도 이날 선보였는데요.
Okay, so you guys will have in a moment 3 glasses of this wonderful Piper Heidsieck Brut non-vintage in front of you. At least one of the glasses is from a bottle of champagne that we opened and poured 3 weeks ago. It could be 1 glass that was from the previously opened bottle, or it might be 2 glasses from the previously opened bottle. It could be glasses 1 and 3, it could be just glass 1, 1 and 2. This is the way that all of Coravin's products have been developed with this type of testing.
저도 열심히 시음하면서 문제를 맞히는데 도전했는데요. 정답은 1번에만 코라빈 스파클링 제품을 사용한 와인이 들어있었고 나머지 2잔에는 새 샴페인이 있었습니다. 약 20여 명의 참석자 중 5명 정도만 맞췄으니 코라빈의 보관 능력을 인정하지 않을 수 없겠네요. 세계적 와인 평론가 제임스 서클링은 코라빈 제품에 대해 와인잔 이후로 가장 혁신적인 와인 기기라고 평가했다고 합니다. 그럼 람브레트 대표의 코라빈 설명을 함께 들어보시죠.
I am the inventor of Coravin. This is my first and only work in the world of wine. I spend most of my life working in medical devices, where I invent and develop new medical therapies. However, I fell in love with wine when I was very young. I lived in Southern California, where I went to high school. I was 16 years old, but I looked like I was 21. And my friends drove me up to Napa Valley, California, where I had my first taste of wine. The problem that I had was, in order to taste a wine, I needed to open the bottle. As soon as you open the bottle, air starts to get in, but in particular when you pour the wine, that wine is replaced by air. The very first product that I developed was for Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. We made an implant that was used to treat cancer. It was implanted underneath your skin with a tube going into your heart. So I remember sitting in my kitchen with a needle and a bottle, thinking there has to be a way I can get wine out of this bottle with this needle. So I made the very first prototype of Coravin in 1999. The very first night I made my first prototype, I tried 5 different wines. The next night I had another 5 different wines. That is the way I have been drinking ever since, tasting whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. But I didn't know whether or not it actually preserved the wine. I started to do a test to determine whether I could tell the difference between a bottle that had been accessed with a Coravin and a bottle that was freshly opened. So I would buy 6 bottles of the same wine, I would Coravin a glass out of the first bottle, and then I would come back 1 month later and blind taste it against another bottle, and then 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and finally 5 years later. It was only when I couldn't tell the difference after 5 years between a bottle that had been poured multiple times and a new bottle that we started the company. It took 12 years and 800 different wines. So, first one that I'll demonstrate is Coravin Timeless. Coravin Timeless is the original system that I developed, now with many improvements. It uses a needle, very similar to the needle that I used for the implant. It uses a capsule of inert gas, nitrogen, here in Korea, and a clamp to attach to the bottle. This is the trigger for the nitrogen gas. You simply place it above the cork, press straight down, like so. Tip the bottle sideways, press the trigger, gas goes in, let go, and wine comes out. Every time I want more, I just press again. Stop any time by tipping up, and then remove the Coravin, simply pulling it off. So, that's it. That's Coravin. This is our most popular system. that we have sold millions of devices of all over the world. The only maintenance is cleaning it. Hot water through here cleans out the valve and the needle. You can come back to this bottle next week, next month, even 3-5 years later. Each capsule of nitrogen gas pours between 13 and 18 full glasses of wine. After we had launched, and I went to Australia, and there was a restaurant that was using our system in Australia, and he said, Greg, I love Coravin, but I want it to pour faster. I want it to be simpler to use for my staff. I want it to work with every kind of wine closure. Coravin Timeless works with only cork and with screw cap. And so we developed Pivot to solve his problem. Pivot accesses a wine with any closure because the first step is to remove the closure, whether it's cork or screw cap or plastic, and then replace that closure immediately with our stopper. So the way that it works is you simply open this cap at the top. There is a valve to prevent anything from getting in or coming out while it's open. Because we have a valve, we don't need a needle. We can use a big tube, place it straight through the valve like so. I have the same nitrogen gas on the inside. I'll push this button and that nitrogen will push the wine out of the bottle into my glass without any air touching the wine. You can see it pours quite rapidly. You then take the pivot out, cap the bottle, and again, you can store this wine, come back to it for at least 1 month. Our last system is perhaps my favorite. You will be doing a blind tasting with Coravin Sparkling today, and it is our Coravin Sparkling system. Sparkling wine is wonderful, but the problem is that not only can it oxidize, but it also will lose its carbonation and go flat. But I wanted to be able to drink it by the glass, and so Coravin Sparkling was developed. It consists of a stopper and a charger. The stopper is a universal stopper that fits on absolutely every bottle of sparkling wine, from a half bottle to most magnums. So the stopper uses a special material that does not allow any oxygen in or any CO2 out, even over 1 year. You open it by first releasing the pressure on the inside of the bottle, like so. You then open this until it goes click. Pour the glass of wine like we normally would. Close the bottle. And in between pours, that's all you have to do. At the end of the evening, at home or in the restaurant, if there is wine left over, you use our charger to pressurize the bottle. This charger uses a capsule of pure CO2 gas, so not nitrogen like these still wine systems. You simply place it on top, and you'll see there is a green light. That green light turns red while I'm charging and goes back to green when it's fully charged. Like with all of our systems, you can store the bottle on its side or upright. The wine should last for at least 1 month, but we're finding that champagne is lasting for 3 to 6 months, even down to the last glass. That's it. Each capsule of gas preserves up to 7 bottles of champagne. One of the things that we developed for Timeless was a way to aerate the wine. Aeration is good for wines to open up, particularly a young wine. That needs a little bit of air to become a little bit more smooth. Aeration is a factor of surface area of exposed wine and time. And so if you do not have time, you increase the surface area. So I simply place it on the front, like so. Put the Coravin through the cork, like so. And we create what is essentially a Coravin shower. The stream breaks up into 32 streams, which become drops. It increases the surface area 1,000 times.
고급 와인 한 번에 마시기 아까운데 코라빈을 사용하면 상당히 오랜 기간 즐길 수 있을 것 같다는 생각이 듭니다. 코라빈 샤워 즐기면서 남는 와인 버리지 마시고 코라빈에 맡겨보시는 건 어떨까요?